Bachelorette herself is here.
Yes.
You know she's doing good. She got the Cardi B. She got the blood shoes. Can you believe that these shoes? These are, what are they called? What are they called? Malala Blanc? Manalo Blancs? Is that
Louboutins.
Louboutins. Now they're called Cardi B shoes. Only hip hop, only in America, that these shoes are now Cardi B shoes.
That's right.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Rachel Lindsay, the Bachelorette herself. Look at the bling bling.
Woo.
Saturday morning stroll. This guy. A little chilly here in Dallas. What we got in there? Oh, mark your territory. Keep it moving.
What? No, I just broke my leg. No, this is a full-blown move into the basement. You're gonna be out of work. Without that money from you might miss your rent. Oh, I just moved out.
Copper. Say hi to IG. Say hi to your followers. Yeah, he doesn't care. It's like, Dad, just let me pee and poop right now. Need to find a good spot.
I just love her. She just knows how to live her life, man. She don't care about what y'all gonna say. Like, look, when it's time to let loose and be happy and hang out with my friends and just live my life, because I only have one life to live, I'm going to do that. And when it comes time to handle business and be serious, there you go. What's up, my Vina loves? It's Miss Vina D coming to you all from Vina Entertainment News. All of the interviews that I'm going to talk about in this video, I'm going to make sure I include the link in the description below so that you guys can go directly to those people's website and watch it there. I am in transition right now. MissVinaD.com is going to focus just on me. Most of you who have visited that website, you know, the About Me page had me on there. But I'm going to keep that just about me. I'm actually transitioning and going to start Vina Entertainment News Inc. And so I'm going to create VinaEntertainmentNewsInc.com by itself. So everything is all about, you know, what I do as far as, you know, entertainment and everything like that. So with the transition process going on, MissVinaD.com is not up right now. So I'm going to include the links directly to those pages for you to go ahead and watch all of the interviews I'm going to talk about. Before I get into the interviews, you know, let's go ahead and talk about the clips that we I was saying, let's go ahead and talk about the clips that we saw earlier, and that Rachel was in LA. She wasn't just in LA just, you know, for fun. She was there for work. As you saw in the very beginning video, she was there with a comedian, Michael. Love him, he's funny. And so she was there for work and sport broadcasting. Rachel have said that, you know, she went to school and also majored in that, excluding, you know, being an attorney. That's what she went to school for, and you know, she loved being an attorney and all of that. Her dad is a judge and well respected, but she would love to do sports broadcasting because that's her passion. And that's one of the reasons why she's moving out to LA, because she feels like out there she's gonna have more opportunities. So she went out there for work, but as you saw, she met up with her friends and she had a great time. Bryan stayed behind. You know, Bryan is preparing for work. Now, I don't know. They never said exactly when they're moving to LA, or maybe they said it in passing, but you know, they always say we're moving to LA, but not a specific time. So because of that, Bryan, congratulations to Bryan. He got his license in Texas. That's amazing. You know, now he has his license in Miami, he has his license in Texas, and now he just have to get his license in LA. He'll be all good. But he stayed behind, to get ready, be it if he's going to start working out there until, they move, because he's been waiting on this for a while. So you saw him being a dad. I call it daddy daycare, taking care of Copper and just having a good time. And the video of him listening to music and dancing, and people are like, oh, Bryan looks sad and lonely without Rachel. I mean, I understand, but, what do you guys want him to do? The song wasn't... we want him to go crazy on the song. He looks okay to me, but I understand, that's his better half. So even if he looks sad, I completely understand it. But he was taking care of Copper and just having a good time with him. Congratulations to Bryan, he's doing his thing. For all of the people who were coming for him, or you're not working, Rachel's doing all the work, you're just sitting at home. You have to understand, guys, these people, their profession is on a different level. They just can't go into another state and just start working. They need to be certified in that state. They need a license and all of that. And Bryan did that, so congratulations. Before we get into, all of the interviews and things like that, like I always say, I'm here for Rachel, always focusing on charity work, on giving back. One of the reasons why I love her and I follow them, and all of that. I love anyone who used the platform in this way. She went ahead and posted this image right here, and her caption, so excited to announce that I am officially a celebrity ambassador with Paul at Paul Works. So go ahead and read, the rest about the charity and all of that. Like I said, I'm here for her, always giving back. The same thing goes to Bryan. Now let's go ahead and talk about these interviews. Okay, so before I get into the interview, Rachel posted this video right here, throwback of, one of her favorite photo shoot. I'm not going to put the video in because it's copyright into the photographer, but I'm just going to go ahead and include some of the images I took from the shoot. And like I already talked about her and Michael Rappaport on, so he's talking about the Cardi B shoes. Hilarious. But anyways, let's get into these little interviews that they have going on. I'm gonna talk about the Entertainment Tonight interview. Now, the Entertainment Tonight interview, the title, when you go to the mobile view title, talk about Rachel and Bryan living together and all of that. That's the title. It says Bachelorette, Rachel Lindsay and Bryan Abasolo are living together inside their new life in Dallas, in parentheses, exclusive. Okay, but when you look at it on the computer, I have my Mac, the title is something different. It says Bachelorette, Rachel Lindsay and Bryan Abasolo reacts to the other guy. I'm gonna put a title right here and let you guys read it. So I understand that it comes to the territory. I get it. But it's frustrating, you get your hair, makeup done, clear out your schedule for these people, say yes to an interview, you go there with a pure spirit, an amazing heart, and then they take away from all of the beautiful things you talk about and focus on in an entire title. And I understand most of you, you come to YouTube, like my channel, to watch things you like and, other people and things like that. And that's something called clickbait. I get it. You put the title in there and the more people are going to click. I completely understand. But to take away from their interview and put the entire interview almost like their reaction to the other guy, I guarantee you that after much talk and people coming for them, the title was changed to what I read. But when you go to the mobile view, that's what you see on my cell phone. But when I go on the desktop view, the title is different. So I don't know if they changed the links and did two different titles, whatever. They changed the other title and reposted the story and then left, the original title up. Whatever the case might be, I just feel like that other title was shady because these people had a long interview. The video was a little short, but as far as the write-up, the article was very long for them to title it, that. But let's talk about it before we get into, the interview and everything they talk about. When it comes to the other guy, when Rachel and Bryan were asked about the Bachelor and their thought process, Richard response definitely showed that, that girl is happy. She's in a great place. She's not angry. She's not thinking about the other guy. Like, she's just living her life and she's chilling. So all of the people who were saying, oh, body language, all of that, when the interviewer asked her about that, her response was, I really thought it was going to be the other guy. Like, this is how she sounded that excited. Like, she didn't have no hate, no, oh, girl, bye, next question. None of that. Her reaction was so sincere. She was like, I thought it was going to be the other guy. I was surprised that it wasn't him. However, now we can watch it and just watch it without that person being attached to us, because they got a lot of hate due to how ABC did the edits for The Bachelorette. So Richard and Bryan love story wasn't really, shown a lot, and that that intense breakup that happened. So they just felt like, what, if he was going to be the Bachelor, then here comes the hate again. Every time something positive happened, whatever new chick he decided to end up with, and all of those. So she was just saying, it's just great that they can just watch the show, just to watch the show, because she said they don't really know, the new Bachelor like that. They've seen a few videos of him, and she said she feel like he's ready, but she really don't know him like that, which is true. But as far as the other guy goes, it was going to be like, okay, we have to watch it, but they had a connection to him, and that's all she said. But that answer and that question was so quick and short compared to everything else to talk about. So for them to make the title that, it's like, come on, man, like, you're Entertainment Tonight. People will still click and read, But hey, I get it. People need to make their money, the ads, make the articles pop, so whatever, before I go into details about the Entertainment Tonight interview, Bryan and Richard did another interview with a local station in Dallas, and that interview was better. It was all about them. The interview was very respectful. She didn't, mention the other guy's name. She found ways to ask the question without mentioning his name, without bringing it up. And I thought that was very cool, very respectful. They looked great on that interview. I don't know if Richard was nervous or whatever, or maybe the studio was hot, or, sometimes when you're going on TV and the lighting and all of that, you have to wash your makeup and things like that. And she was kind of sweating in that interview when you guys watch it. Or maybe it's how I was looking at it. I have to watch it in a different view. But apart from that, she looked great. Bryan looked great, and they had an amazing conversation about when they want to get married. Rachel was basically saying, listen, man, I talked about winter wedding, and now I don't care anymore whether it's for whatever. I just want to get married, and I'm in love. And Bryan talked about Miami and basically transferring to Dallas, but he had to wait until he got his license, which he have his license now. He talked about that, renting out his condos, selling his car, he's all in. I love how the interviewer asked them. She said, Rachel, when did you know, Bryan was the one? And then she asked Bryan when he knew. Bryan talked about how, and I always talk about how they're well-rounded, and Bryan said the same thing. He said, look, man, most of the time, most of the women I've dated, they have one, they don't have both. And with Rachel, she have both. Rachel is sassy, she's a firecracker, but she's also sweet and have that soft side to her. He was saying how she's a buzz. She's a buzz. He didn't say the curse word, but she's a buzzy chick. How people say, I'm a buzz. Exactly. So anyways, he talked about how she's well balanced. She can be fun, serious, educated, all of that, but then she can have fun, dance, grind on people, and have a great time and let loose. She's not like, oh my God, I'm an attorney, my father is a judge, I have to sit and do. She can be serious when it's time to be serious, and they can just live and have fun. And it's not often that you can find someone who just is just balanced and well rounded. And they both just, basically fill in all of those words in each other perfectly. So that was that about that interview. He talked about when they went on that date in Geneva. That's when he knew she was the one. But he was just talking about who she is as a person. But it was kind of interesting because when he brought up that, the camera was showing like the jewelry and stuff like that. In as much as I love this interview and they were not being shady, and I'm not trying to look too deep into things here, it's like, when did you know, Bryan, that Rachel was the one? And then as he's talking, the camera panned to when she bought him a watch, or when they were in a fancy car. I understand that was what Geneva did, but it was almost like them going to the jury. Like, I knew she was the one when she bought me the watch. And I'm not saying that's what the interviewer said. It was just how the camera cut to that clip and how it was edited. I'm like, oh yeah, they go. But when they asked Rachel just talked about how, Bryan was just consistent, and, he's a great balance for her and all of that. And I talked about this, too often people allow pride and all of these things. When you say you are ready to jump in and you're all in, you have to be like Bryan, because that's what happened. People, like I talked about this before, people get so engulfed into the show and the lights and the cameras and the action and the glitz and glamour and all of that. And then when the show is over, Mary want to stay close to her family, and John want to stay, where he's been because his career is there. And then this stuff fighting is like, why did you guys come on the show? Why did you say yes to my proposal? Didn't we have this conversation? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then the egos come in. Why gotta be the one to move? Why? And then next thing you know, the relationship is over. When it comes to Bryan was like, listen, I want forever with you. I went on the show, and from day one, I said that. So if moving for you is hard, baby girl, I'm going to quit everything, sell my car, rent out my condo. I am all in, and that's a man, all right? So congratulations, to Rachel and Bryan on finding each other, on finding love, and all of that. Rachel posted this image right here with a fashion designer. I'm gonna post his Instagram right here. You can read more about him, and so on and so forth. Now I'm gonna go ahead and read a little excerpts here and there from the Entertainment Tonight interview, because this is the one that had a lot of people in their feelings a little bit because of what they did to our girl and Bryan, but it's all good. No big deal, because the title is not really that creative, but just want to point out that the whole Bachelorette life after, the final rose, or life after the Bachelorette, yeah, I started that because that's what I named this series. So Entertainment Tonight, I see you. So the interview with Lauren Zima, basically started, Lauren Zima exclusively sat down with the couple at one of their favorite date night restaurants in Dallas, Texas. And basically, the interview started. We're in Dallas now. This is Bryan talking about it. He's saying that he lived there full time and he loved the city. Rachel then responded. He said, I'm getting acquainted very well. Rachel then responded, this is my city. This is where I was born and raised, but it's been forever since I've had a man with me here, and let alone a fiance. It's great to have Bryan here with me and to show him my city and where I'm from. I'm glad he loves it. That's what's key. And when Rachel and Bryan was talking about when the show ended, after the final rose, Rachel said it was a very tough situation. It was a lot of backlash on social media, but I think it just made us stronger. This was actually Bryan explaining. We were very communicative, and we definitely talked about all the issues that come about and all the press that's out there negatively. So they're basically talking about, after Bryan saw Rachel's reaction to the other guy and their breakup, how did he feel? And they continued. It was tense. The focus was taken away from our happy moment and placed on the drama. And it was important for us not to turn on each other and to really stay strong, honest, and open. Just really understanding each other and everything that was going on that carried us through and really built a foundation for our relationship. They continued. Rachel said, Bryan is a very good balance for me. Bryan was the one who was like, let's continue to be ourselves, and then people will fall in line. If they don't, they don't. Okay, Bryan, I navigate. The interviewer did bring up, all of the people who, broke up, especially with Rachel being a part of Nick's season and Nick and Vanessa no longer being together. Rachel was quick to just shut that down, was like, we are getting married. She said, and then basically she said they haven't started any, serious wedding planning. So Rachel will continue. Now we're talking, about fall. To be honest, I can do spring. It's really been 6 months at this point since we've been engaged. We know at this point how we feel about each other and that we want to get married. I used to think spring was too soon. Now I'm like, bring on the spring wedding. All right, so that's great. Rachel did talk about that, as far as reality TV goes and a spin-off, absolutely not. But they are not opposed to getting married on TV, like having a wedding special and things like that. And so that's moving on more into the interview. She said we both came on the show with the same goals. I came on the show to meet someone, hopefully the person I fell for. I wanted to marry, which I got all of that. I fell for Bryan. I want to marry Bryan. And, she was just gushing about him. And I didn't know if we would click as well as we did. This was Bryan talking. But she exceeded every one of my expectations. And here we are today, moving forward and getting married soon. She said that. So Bryan also shared that Rachel is a really good cook but doesn't cook as often as she should. So in that live, Bryan said that Rachel doesn't cook, he does other the cooking. So people and myself felt like, okay, can she cook? He didn't say she can't cook. He just said that she doesn't cook and he does all of the cooking. So now he just said that she's a really good cook. So that's good to know. I'm not going to read all of it. You guys can click the link and read it. But I'm just going to read a little bit more of the interview. As far as, their careers, Rachel talked about, she said, we've worked so hard to get those careers. We don't want to give them up, but it's no secret for me. Sports is my background. That was my undergrad major. That's what I went to law school for. I've had some amazing opportunities to be on camera doing some broadcasting, so I want to dip my toes into that. Exactly what I just talked about with her being with Michael Rappaport and also other things she's done on air so far. She continued, we just need to get, so people keep asking them about kids, right? And she said, we just need to get married first, She wants 3, Bryan wants 4, but she responded, we are focused on the wedding first, and then we can start talking about kids. A basketball team would be great for me. That was Rachel. Rachel says, she now said that, right now, their focus is just the wedding, being happy, and, basically living their best life happily ever after, okay? So that's little excerpts from the interview. It was a great interview. Now, there was one point on the other interview on the local news channel with Dallas. The interviewer asked, what is one thing that Bryan liked about Rachel's dad and one thing that he does not like? And Rachel was like, be careful how you answer this question. And Bryan said that what he doesn't like, and Bryan is so smart, he's like, what he doesn't like is the fact that he really have not had a lot of one-on-one time with Rachel's dad. He would like to get to know him more without Rachel being in a room or a sister or a family member. He would like for Rachel dad and himself to just Bryan to just have one-on-one time, go get something to drink or go out to eat. Just have like a guy's night out where he can get to know his father-in-law more, especially with him planning forever with his daughter. He would love to have that moment. And then as far as Rachel, and Bryan said what he loved about Rachel's dad is the fact that he's a judge, and people look up to him, and that's very, and so Bryan admired him on that level. And then, but Rachel, Rachel said that she liked the fact that she loved Bryan's mother and that they are the same, and that's why Bryan gets her and tolerate her firecracker, fireball attitude, because he witnessed that growing up with his mom, because Bryan's dad is also more laid back and his mom is also, in your face type of deal. And Rachel is saying, she's sassy too. And what she doesn't like about his mom, she said, the great things about his mom could also be the not so great thing, because, she's involved in their relationship a little too much, but it's all good. She knew what she was getting herself into, and she loved his mom, and that's all that matters. So it looks like, hey, everything is going great, and they're hanging in there, and they're doing their best to, make their relationship work. So, hey, more power to Bryan and Rachel. I am wishing you guys nothing but the best, and we are all looking forward to the wedding. I know I said Rachel was in LA at the beginning, but it looks like she's still in LA because Bryan posted this right here. Of course, Spalding basketball. You're in trouble when you get home, 1-on-1, and yeah, the nasty fans are like, you sure it's gonna be basketball when she get home? Y'all nasty. But anyways, yeah, she's still out there.
Hey guys, it's Rachel here, and I am eating butter squash pie. I don't even recognize myself right now. From one picky eater to the next, this is delicious.
And I'm sure she's gonna be home soon, because she did say in the interview that before she went to LA this time, she and Bryan have only spent 1 day apart since they went public. So yeah, I'm sure if she's not home, he's probably going to join her. But Bryan have his license now, so I'm sure he's focused on starting work until they move to LA. Okay, my Vanilla loves, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Thank you all for the amazing support. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Turn notifications on so that when I do post a video, you know that I post. Leave a comment below, and thank you so much, man, for all of the support. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I'm wishing you all an amazing day. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.